The first day of Counter-Strike 2, I spent playing with randoms. The second day of Counter-Strike 2, I spent playing with 9 pros and Tim the Tatman. So it was completely different, and I actually got a lot of insight, but I didn't get a lot of good clips because, you know, I held my own though, sort of. So here's a collection of clips, and they're all gonna kind of match up with what I'm talking about, which is the general update. You could probably watch anybody else's update video, but hey, you chose mine, so let's get into it.
There it is, baby. There it is.
All right, easy team, easy win.
They're running up.
Coming.
Sure,
One's pushing cat. Damn,
They gotta patch that. I spent a lot of time watching the best and former best players in the world go head to head using these new smokes and these new, I guess I'll call it smoke clearing techniques. And the biggest thing I took away is that, like, it's really, really dope, and situationally, it changes the game. I got a couple kills that I probably wouldn't have because I was just able to see through the smoke or a little bit more info, but ultimately, yeah, I mean, I saw one time in 5 hours a pro cleared a smoke grenade with an HE, and this was
I'm
it.
gonna try to nade it from far so we can't hear it. You ready? Get close, get close.
Okay.
Oh my God.
He's not there. He's in pit now.
That was so hot though.
And it was sick. The smoke disappeared, he pushed in, and he saw nobody, and he backed out. If there was somebody hiding in the smoke like we thought there was, that would have been a giant brain play. But I'm like, okay, what this is just a situational, very expensive pop flash. It surprises an enemy who may be behind the smoke or in the smoke, and for that reason, that's dope. Like ninja diffusing, no more guesswork if you have an HE and all that stuff, but still, pretty situational. Look, like the angle of the bullet hole when you shoot through the smoke really only benefits you and the person you think is on the other side. The other teammates that are hanging around mid in Dust 2, they don't see the guy through the smoke like you do because the smoke is a 3D object. It doesn't create a hole that everyone can look through. It creates a tunnel. I think it's a better way to explain it, and for that reason, yeah, spamming the smoke's not really that big of an idea unless you're spamming a corner trying to remove that. That's a little bit better. But yeah, I mean, look, it's cool for info, and it does make a difference. But for you and me, like, we're not gonna create some crazy strat where somebody Negev sprays the middle of the smoke and our whole team 5-man or 4-man scouts down mid. Like, that's just, it's not gonna happen. But I mean, the smokes are way bigger feeling, right? The edges feel harsher. It feels infinitely darker in there. It's kind of a scary place to be stuck in your own smoke, especially because it kind of, the sound seems to be dampered when you're in there. So the sounds when somebody's stomping around running, they sound a little bit further away. And then when they kind of, like, it's hard to judge distance in there. I tried to push through a couple times and it didn't work out. I'm kind of hopeful that they make it seem a little smoother. It seems like there's a bunch of small cotton balls. Like, it looks like a Etsy project for a fake cloud sometimes. And I kind of want it to feel more like a cohesive unit than what it looks like. But overall, I love the way they look. I love the way it interacts with the game. And I think that, like, for me, playing the game, this makes it feel, I don't know how to say it, cooler. And that's a big thing. How cool does the game feel? A little cooler now, thanks to the smokes. So
I have one, I'm mulling.
on site. Oh! I want to talk about the hit registration, tick rate, sub tick, all that stuff. Look, man, I have played on 64 tick my entire Counter-Strike career, with the exception of sometimes jumping into Face It to play with Get Right, Flom, and sometimes Shroud and way better players. There is a noticeable difference when you play on matchmaking and you jump over to a Face It private server. It's as noticeable as, say, 60 hertz to 144. No, I don't think so, but it is noticeable. So is there a noticeable difference between playing on Counter-Strike 64 tick matchmaking and this one? Well, if you're watching the video, chances are you probably just play on Face It if you're a North American player. But, like, look, I can tell a difference. However, I don't know if I can be honest with you and say, like, oh yeah, dude, it feels 128. Like, I don't know. It feels different. And what I mean is the Scout. Okay, the Scout feels good. I suck with the Scout. It's fun to use, but it always felt a little less impactful And I don't know, a lot of the times I'd shoot and I feel like my bullet was just behind him or just in front of him. I'm just like, God damn. Since using the scout in the last 2 days, it feels on. I feel like when I'm shooting, the bullet is going into their head, and maybe the fraction of a second that I would normally maybe hesitate or maybe move a little too quickly, and maybe that had something to do with the 64 tick rate. Look, my scout shots hit a little bit better. That's how I feel, and it feels like the op is the same, and it feels like all the guns feel a little different. I have no concept at all if it's the sub tick rate or if it's something silly like a smoke trail.
Let him.
I heard the farmers.
Yes, Tucker. Yes.
Let him go.
Do it. Yes, Sue's ready.
It's missing a swing.
He's gonna do it.
No. Yes. Yes.
I'm being serious. I think the smoke trail on the op, which I think it should start a little bit further from the op, so it doesn't look like a really weird laser line. Maybe just like a chemtrail. But I love it. It makes it feel more impactful. The tracers are a good change for almost everything except for my ego. And here's why. I think that with the negative, it's always been fun to see where the bullets go, and you're like, wow, this is how recoil works. Very good visualizer to see how it stabilizes with the negative. All right, with the tracer rounds, everybody, I swear, has been saying the AK feels different. Well, it feels different for 2 reasons, or the spray feels changed or whatever. 1, it sounds different. I love the sound. I think it's a good change. But 2, since you can see your tracers, I think it is now very easy to see how shit you are in a regular game situation because you're used to aim training in a static or semi-static environment with no pressure, and now you're swinging wide on B bomb site and you're in a 1v3 and you're like, my spray is nowhere near this guy. Like it's, you know, without tracers, you're just seeing bullet kind of dust kick up behind him and you're like, ah, that was so close. With tracers, I'm like, brother, that was like 4.5 feet away from his head. Like, where are you aiming? And it's weird because I think that's really what it is. It's just the visual feedback you're getting from shooting guns now is way more obvious, and because of that, it's a lot harder to hide from your own skill inability. Instability, it doesn't matter.
I'll do it.
Only 189,000 kills. Are you kidding?
Yes.
Fucking casual.
The flashbangs have issues. If there's too many sounds playing at the same time when you get flashbanged and you go deaf, instead of fading in the sounds, it sounds like the layers, like the priority of the sound layers gets messed up. That's something they're gonna change. But it is really good. The changes that the sounds flashbangs make to you that was not even English. The sounds flashbangs make now is way better. The muffled sounds in smoke, if I'm hearing that correctly, is a good change, and if I'm not, I'm an idiot. I don't know, but I think that was a good change.
We have a fat B spawn. Let me go. Let me rip.
You wanna go?
I want to just.
All right. Send it
Okay,
then.
I'm buying nades, team player.
Here, lower. 1 mid.
All right. Well, it was a good try.
The brightness of the map needs to be reduced like 10%. It just feels overexposed in some areas, specifically like a bomb site. Can't tell if that's because it's supposed to be the middle of a Moroccan sun-filled day. And yeah, that's probably fucking hot and very sunny. But, you know, maybe a little bit of shadow couldn't kill you. It just feels like almost too overexposed. But I mean, everybody has different monitors, different screens. That's just me. Similarly, I feel like the Molly brightness needs to be dropped about 10%. They have this weird Michael Bay, J.J. Abrams, Battlefield 3 fire is the way I describe it. It's the color of the fire is great. I love it. Keep the purples, you know? But the effect that it has where it kind of warps, it doesn't have the heat wave effect where you look at a road on a hot summer day and you see the area behind it kind of like wave and warp. It doesn't have that. If you wanted to put that in, cool, but like it's just kind of hazy and weird. I don't know. I just want the fire to seem cleaner, if that makes sense. I'm not a graphic guy. But overall, the spectator UI needs a slight change.
You have double flashes.
Brother, if I pull that out, I'm dead.
No, I mean like flashing over here. He's gonna peek, you know. I mean it's Ryan. Man.
Still don't like the card aspect when you get kills. I don't really know how cards fit into Counter-Strike in any way, shape, or form, and I think just doing skulls would have been both easier to see and just completely normal and classic, maybe you can change that. I don't care that much. I'm just explaining. I was like, okay, why cards? The blood splatter in the game makes everything feel so much more alive. Everything in the game feels more alive. The fire, the smokes, and the blood. When I get a shot on somebody and I see that mist pop up, I'm like, yeah. Oh, we're gaming. I mean, when you get a headshot with a scout, their head explodes. It's like, I'm like, okay, it feels good. I don't know. Sometimes I feel like I'm using a Halo sniper and it's kind of hot, you know? But all things considered, what a fantastic update so far, with a lot of room for improvement across like just tweaks and stuff. And I'm really excited to see how this translates to like some of the other maps. The best way I can describe it is the colors and the textures are like putting on glasses. It's like RTX has been turned on. It makes Counter-Strike Global Offensive look like a field-tested version of the game. And it sucks that I'm not comfortable playing Dust 2 for 12 hours a day because I'm already tired of Dust 2. I hate Dust 2, guys. So I'll probably play Counter-Strike 2 a little bit while also trying to get my rank up so I can continue to play video games with my friends who are much higher rank in matchmaking, and maybe a little content game where I use the new recoil reticle, follow recoil thing. But anyways, appreciate you guys. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like and check out my record label Night Mode. I'll talk to you guys later.